This is the tasalsul. What is dawr? Dawr is circular reasoning. Okay, this is another rational impossibility. How would we explain this type of reasoning? This type of reasoning. If it was proposed, if it were proposed that A caused B, and then B also caused A, we would observe that the existence of A is dependent on B, and likewise the existence of B is therefore dependent on the existence of A. This would be an example of circular reasoning. I will explain how this is impossible in a moment. But before that, just a jumla mu'tarida, just a side point over here. What is dawr unlike? Someone may at this juncture say, well, 1 minute. We do have circular conceptual concepts. And circular conceptual concepts do exist and they make sense as well. So how can we therefore say that circular reasoning is impossible when I can give you examples of possible circular conceptual concepts? The answer to this is that dawr should not be confused with circular conceptual concepts. Okay, like saying Zaid is a father to Bakr and Bakr is a son to Zaid. Without Zaid, Bakr would not be a son, and without Bakr, Zaid would not be a father. Okay, this is an example of circular conceptual concept. This is jaiz. This is possible. Comparing this to dawr, which is circular reasoning, is a qiyas ma'al fariq. Okay, so the type of circular reasoning that is deemed impossible is that which relates to causation or anything else that is rationally impossible. Now, let me explain to you how circular reasoning would be rationally impossible. Okay, the absurdity of this would be of this kind of reasoning would be that the logical absurdity in this reasoning would be what? It would be necessary that both entities, A and B, would have to precede each other. This was what, if A causes B and B causes A, it would be necessary that A and B both precede each other in existence. So irrational circular reasoning refers specifically to causation and instantiation. Okay. So if it were true, it would mean that A and B precede one another and they come into existence after one another. Okay, and that would be absurd, or that would be rationally impossible, like a squared circle. Okay, so this is an example of dawr. Now, do we have such absurdities found in the works of modern atheists? The answer is yes. If you can move past all of the scientific jargon, if you can move past the big words, if you can move past the appeal to authority, you will begin to realize the jahala and the jahl and the ignorance of many of these modern atheists, and the rational impossibilities and the absurdities of some of the argumentations, the argumentation or the arguments that they give in order to prove that there is no God. I will give you two such examples of this. A first one, an example of such a rational absurdity, which is in popular science actually, would be the statement made by the well-known Stephen Hawking. Okay, Stephen Hawking has a work called The Grand Design, a very famous work, and he wrote this along with somebody known as Leonard Mlodinow. So the work is known as The Grand Design. I'm going to read this passage to you. In The Grand Design, they both say, this is the passage now, and I'm going to read this passage, and then I'm going to reach out to you guys for you to answer to me, Stephen Hawking's and Leonard's, Mlodinow's, a response to both of these two modern scientists. They say, because there is a law of gravity, the universe can and will create itself out of nothing. Because there is a law of gravity, the universe can and will create itself out of nothing. Off you go. I open up the board to you guys.
May I? Because I'm
You go.
studying physics, so I need to deal with these people all the time. Yeah, I mean, this is absurd. He just conceded that because there's a law of gravity. A law of gravity is contingent upon there being massive bodies. The law of gravity cannot be expressed except through the existence of mass and distance between them. I mean, even if you take general relativity, you have to assume space and time, which are structures. That's not nothing. That's something.
Exactly.
So this is absolutely absurd.
Exactly. So the answer, you've got the answer bang on, right? Just one word I would have liked you to add in there would be that this is circular reasoning. This is dawr.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because
Yes.
the law
Thank you. Sorry.
of nature depends for its own existence on the prior existence of the nature material it describes. Okay?
Yeah.
So therefore, how can gravity, a perceived law of nature, exist prior to the very inception of the universe itself? When gravity is a description of the universe. Is that understood?
Yes.
So because there is a law of gravity, the universe can create itself. Well, 1 minute. The law of gravity, a perceived law of nature, how can it exist prior to the very inception of the universe? When the law of nature, a law or any law of nature, depends for its own existence on the prior existence of the nature material it describes, the universe. Is that understood in this case? Like, let me give you another easy example. There
Yes.
is no law of England before England. Is that understood?
Absolutely. Yes.
Right. So that would be an easy way to explain it.